Hello everyone, I am back with two more Destash lots. This will be lot 3 and 4 in my Destash series. So let's just go ahead and get started. I basically just started stuffing medium flat rate shirt boxes, and there's just a mixture of all sorts. So in this lot, which will be lot number 3, it says a designer collar kit cross stitch. So of course you would not have to use it for that. It is dated 1987. So the majority of these items are vintage. Probably all of the items are vintage. There may be some more recent or newer items included. So it includes some lace, some floss, I guess the instructions, and the cross-stitch fabric. So you will get that, and some music sheets. This is dated 1944. And graph paper. If you watch the video from lots 1 and 2, you'll see that some of the stuff is the same. I started making Destash kits and then just started stuffing these boxes full of all the supplies. This is some vintage paper. There's a little bit of aging around the edge. Here's a few to-do lists. This is 1972, and let's see if this has a date. 2000. So if you go by the 20-year rule, this is just vintage this year. So I love that envelope. Here we have Crafts and Things, 1976 magazine. And this has some really nice aging and images. You will get pieces of the vintage wallpaper border. Victorian patchwork patterns book, and this is, I believe it was 1980s. I could be wrong, 1988. So, and it has the quilting patterns. Here is more music. This is 1945, and it does have some coloring in it, but I don't know. I kind of think that adds a little bit of charm to these pages if you use them in junk journals or something like that. And this is great. A little kid, I'm assuming, because the handwriting looks like my grandson, so I'm just assuming. But there you go with that. Here's some more music sheets. This one looks a little bit older, but I could be wrong. Well, it says somebody wrote in 1955, so 1945. And some wrapping paper. That is so cute. Okay, this is an iron-on transfer. This is dated 1992. And again, you don't have to use this for its intended purpose. You could definitely use it for any type of crafting project. Here is a fabric. I think it's a no-sew fabric applique. Whatever that means. Okay, so I guess it's an iron. You just iron it if you want, but again, you don't have to use this as an iron-on. And this is, did I see a date on here? I thought I did, but maybe 1993. So it has a cute little angel on there. And here is some vintage ledger sheets. And there's a nice little stack in there. 1968 on that. I don't know what these are called. I don't know if they're considered postcards, but it is 1988, including some doilies in here. There's paper, there's foil, here's some hearts, all different sizes. Here's some small ones, and gold, silver. Here is a Garfield scratch pad, and it has the little corners with Garfield on it. Here is a pack of wrapping paper. I guess it's kind of a gift pack. There's note cards, wrapping paper, and let me see if I can find a date on this one. I don't see a date, but it is definitely vintage. You'll get that. And a little doily book. Guess it's all about doilies. Here is a really pretty vintage greeting card and vintage photo in frame. Cinnamon scented cuisine and crafts. 1994. Here's a Snoopy line dropper. It is empty, but you could definitely use a packaging. Here's a cute little envelope. It's adorable. Some vintage wrapping paper. And a vintage 1971 recipe card. Here's some letterettes. These, it looks like, I don't know, they have 1958, 1965, and you get 2 of those. Here is a Snoopy envelope, some vintage stickers. You will get a handful of the vintage cards. Here's a stack of vintage note paper. It has some nice aging on it. Here's some more doilies. A guest check. One of the envelopes with the cute little cat. Here is an iron-on patch. This is dated. I thought this had a date, but maybe I'm wrong, but you can tell it's definitely vintage from the packaging, and then 39 cents. You can't really get anything for 39 cents these days, I don't believe. I'm not sure what these are, but I'm throwing them in. I figure somebody could do something cool with them. There's a vintage card. One of the recipe bookmarks. Here is the tally. And more doilies. I don't know what this is either, but I'm sure somebody, there's so many crafty people out there with so many unique ideas. I'm sure somebody could come up with something with this piece here. And then you will get a package of all different sorts of bits and bobs here. And I'm not going to go through each individual item here, but I will link a video below. I have these left over from a prior Destash video, so I thought I would throw them in the box since they fit. And then you will also get a bag of laces and trims and vintage doilies and all sorts of things in here. Some vintage yo-yos, and I will put the link to the Destash video that has this if you want to see in more detail what's in there. So I think that is it for this box. Again, this is box or lot number 3, and it will be $28 shipped, and we'll do box number 4. So this lot has a box of the carbon paper. This one I don't think has ever been opened. So that is a new box, and then you will get some music sheets. This is 1960 music sheets, and here we have 1943, a booklet of music. This one is 1971, 73. And this one is 1984. Then we have more music sheets. This one is, what is that? 1950, I think. 1950, I believe. And a piece of that vintage graph paper. More vintage papers. And this lot will also have a stack of foil doilies. I just had so many, and I've collected them over time. Here's some more. These are really pretty. And what is this? Macrame hang-ups. 1973, so I guess it tells all about different macrame. This lot will also get sections of the vintage borders, pretty vintage wrapping paper. Here is a vintage wrapper, and it had a little toy in it. I actually bought this. My grandson wanted this toy, and it's really cool. It tumbles down and he loves it. He has a little shelf in his room and he keeps it on there. But I thought instead of throwing this packaging out that I would, well, it has some nice aging on it, and I thought somebody could use that in a junk journal. So I definitely did not want to toss that. And then we have one of those really pretty vintage envelopes. Here is a daily planner. And I don't know the date on this, but it's definitely vintage, maybe 80s or 90s, I guess, based on that tag. That vintage note paper, cute cat card. This box will also have an assortment of papers. Oh, that's a cute one. And that's really pretty. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? Another one of those little small books about doilies. And here we have an old photo with the Art Deco looking frame. Here's a vintage card. And here's a stack of these vintage coasters. I believe they're coasters, but they just had such adorable images on them that I thought somebody could use them for maybe corner tuck spots or inserts, or really any idea you can think of. They were just too cute to leave behind. Here we have a handful of the vintage cards. And this lot will also have a bag of laces and yo-yos and trims and things like that, as well as the bag of different items, buttons and stamps and all kinds of different things. And you'll be able to see in more detail on the video that I link for those. And the last thing for this lot is a very cool sewing book, and let's see what the date on this is. I loved looking through this. I love looking through vintage books like this. 1988, and it just has all sorts of different images. And I figured somebody would just love to have this. Okay, so this lot will also be $28 shipped. If you have any questions or you are interested in either lot, I will have the information down below. And thank you so much for watching.